Welcome to my video on a tutorial using Microsoft Mathematics to plot the trigonometric functions sine x, cos x, and tangent x. In this lesson I want to go over the basic definitions of the trigonometric functions, the sine x, the cosine x, and the tangent of x, and then graph the three functions using Microsoft Mathematics. So our basic definitions of the trigonometric functions all boil down to a right triangle. A right triangle has a 90-degree angle, and this is the angle of interest here, x. So the sine of x is defined as the opposite, which is this long side here, divided by the hypotenuse, which is opposite the right angle. Hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle. The opposite is opposite of the angle of interest. Now the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so it's the adjacent over the hypotenuse, it's that ratio. And the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So those are our three basic trigonometric function definitions. So now let's go into our mathematics program and plot these. So let's go into the graphic function. First one we want to look at is sine. So let's type in sin of x. Enter. Look at the graph down here. Okay, this is greatly zoomed in, so we're going to zoom out so we can see the full behavior of the sine function. This is going to be in units of degrees. Okay, so now we're way out. We need to change our range because we're seeing a lot more than we want to see. There we go. There is our normal sine function. Starts at 0, goes to 1 at 90 degrees, back to 0 to 180, 270 at 0, and then you go 360, it goes back to 0 and just repeats. So your sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. Now let's look at the cosine function. Go back in here and change that to cosine of x. Enter, and then graph. Okay, we need to expand back out again. Okay, there we're starting to see more of the behavior of the sine function. The cosine, I mean. Now, let's go in and change our range again. Here we want to go from -2 to +2 to see the full behavior. Okay, there we go. Zoom in a little bit. Now the cosine is 90 degrees out of phase, meaning it's shifted. The sine was 0 at 0. The cosine is 1 at 0 degrees. Then at 180 it goes to -1. And then at 360 it just repeats. So your cosine is the adjacent leg of the right triangle over the hypotenuse. So it's very similar to the sine, except it's shifted by 90 degrees. Now let's go look at the tangent. It's got a much different behavior. So type in tan of x, enter, graph, expand out again so you can see the full behavior. The tangent does some more strange stuff, basically. You'll see when we get to 90 degrees, it just blows up, goes off to infinity. And then just past 90 degrees, so here's what it does. So at 90 degrees, it blows up. And if you think about the definition of the opposite over the adjacent, as the opposite angle goes to infinity, the adjacent angle goes to 0. So then you are going to get, it blows up to 0. Now as the angle rotates a little further, say 90.01, your adjacent has some length and the opposite becomes not infinity, so it goes back to -1. And this process just repeats as it rotates around. So your full sine wave, or tangent, basically goes to here. Just got this, it blows up at 90, back to minus infinity, 270, and then back to 0 at 360. So the tangent's much different than the sine and the cosine. But if you think of it in terms of just the definitions of the angle in a right triangle, it makes sense. So I hope you got something out of this video, learned something about plotting the sine, cosine, and tangent using Microsoft Mathematics. And if you got something out of this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.